Good evening. It's a great start, that isn't it? Right, let me make this a bit bigger. Good evening, everybody. I hope you're well. Coronavirus, don't worry. Oh, okay, right. We are a go. So let's see what happens. Hello, Teresa. Hello, Laurie, Keely. All my favourites. How you doing, guys? You okay this evening? I was gonna go outside, and do you know what? I thought I'd stay inside. That's it. I was gonna go outside, but I thought it's a bit. We're not really overlooked. Well, we're not overlooked at all. But I'm always kind of aware that my neighbours are sort of around, and if just if it's a little bit weird. And I kind of felt like this evening that I might I might take the reins off even further. I might really kind of go for a little bit tonight and say some things that I don't normally say, talk about things I might not normally talk about, and just basically open up a little bit more than I might do normally in the sense of some of the things that happen kind of behind the scenes with the businesses, how different people engage with us, what it means to be a business owner, stuff like that. Some of the day-to-day things that every business owner has. So I thought I might do that, and that's going to probably result in a little bit more swearing. It's going to result in me talking about some things that are a little bit more on the line. There'll be people on here that won't like some of those things, they won't agree with some of those things. So I thought I might maybe talk a little bit about that. And there's a specific reason why I kind of feel really comfortable to do that now. So that's a possibility. I'll be honest, Laurie, I know you may want me to do this tonight, but I have got my panic attack recovery book with me. It's normally on a bookshelf upstairs. Actually, it's only just come back to me because I lent it out to lots of people in the past, well, a few different people. And this really helped me. My mum bought me this years and years and years ago when I was struggling with anxiety and panic attacks, and it was an absolute godsend. It was a proper saviour, this book, for me. And ever since then, I've lent it to other people, and every time I lend it to somebody, I write their name in the front cover. But yeah, it's a little bit battered now because it's been through what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, 5, 6 people. So that's something I did promise I'd talk about at some point. I don't know, throw it. I don't know whether that's something I really want to do tonight, because it's one of those things you've got to kind of be in the mindset for, I think, a little bit. Got my new Sky broadband hub yesterday. That was very exciting because I had to renew my Sky package because that had come up. So got a new hub, and they guaranteed, this was great, this bit was, they said, we've got a new hub that we can send you. It doesn't cost you anything to have it. I think it's an extra quid or two a month type of stuff, but it doesn't cost anything to send out. Oh. Cool. I think something's right. I do. So I did that, bought that, and basically the thing about the new Sky broadband hub is it's amazing. Apparently, it's the best hub ever. And they said you will get signal everywhere in your house, wherever. And they were like, I don't know how good your signal is now, how good your broadband. I was like, we've got really fast broadband because the college down the road had it installed, so the whole village got it, which is great. But yes, they installed. Oh God, there's loads of comments. Oh shit, I've been missing all the comments. Sorry guys, the comments haven't been scrolling. Evening. Do you know what? I'll hold the comments, I'll come back to that, I'll finish my story. So Sky sent us this box, and they said that you'll get internet everywhere in your house, because we don't get internet at the back end of the house, because some of our walls are literally, I think there's a wall that we've got is that thick, because originally it was the old schoolhouse, which was a building, so it's got a wall like that, and then they built another building next to it, so that's got a wall like that, so it's like that. So basically, Sky said, if you cannot get signal throughout your entire house, then we will give you some money back, and so on and so forth. And yeah, we just can't get a signal across because the walls are too thin. But anyway, so that happened yesterday. Sorry, I missed all these. Agony, Uncle Joel. Hello from the Algarve. Kathy, you're in the Algarve. Bloody hell. Kathy, how is it in the Algarve? Can you get home? Wow. Like, that's a brave move, I think, to go on holiday now. Would anybody else go on holiday? Would you go on holiday now? Spain, Spanish Islands, anywhere? Would you go? I was supposed to be going to Mexico in November, and the hotel we're staying at was supposed to open in June. They postponed till July. Then they postponed until, I think they were then due to open end of August, beginning of September. And there was a message the other day from them saying they open on the 1st of November now, and we arrive on the 2nd, and we're going to Mexico. So I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Kathy put, oh, it was hot apparently. Michelle, you're at prison today. I was there this morning. I was there for a little while this morning. Actually, I left about 1:30. But I was upstairs quite a bit. I had tours today. I had to wear a face mask for the very first time today. So I went to the dentist this morning, and it was a bizarre world. So it's the first time I've been somewhere where I've needed to wear a face mask. So I just haven't been to shops and stuff. So that was a bit strange, I must admit. It wasn't a problem. There was no issues whatsoever. Happy to do it, obviously, but it just was a little bit strange. So I hadn't encountered that. Tonight I'm drinking. It's going to go down far too quickly. I'm drinking rum and coke. I love rum. It's one of my favourite drinks. Yeah, you got it, Rachel. Internet in old large houses. It just doesn't penetrate walls. It's just like the jail. And funny enough, when Sky said this, and they said about, we guarantee you'll get internet throughout your entire home, I was like, oh, maybe I should register the prison as a home and install Sky Broadband, and then they'll have to pay me for not getting signal everywhere. I was like, maybe that's the way to make a load of cash. But anyway, second peak is on its way. Positive thinking, Teresa. Yes, there'll be a second wave. There's always going to be a second peak, because at some point it's going to peak and it's going to come down. So there's going to be a second peak. I think the concept and the worry of people going, oh my God, it's a second peak. It's like, well, yeah, there'll be a second peak, but that might be really low. But it's got to peak at some point. There'll be a second one, and then a third one, a fourth one, a fifth one. I watched a really interesting interview with one of the top scientists from the SARS outbreak, and he was talking about how by the end of next year, pretty much everyone in the world will have been infected, and we will just kind of crack on, basically. It was a really interesting sort of way of looking at it. But anyway, let's not talk about Corona this evening, because, you know, it is what it is. We're all obviously going through it together. Everyone has a different way of dealing with it. It obviously affects everybody, but it does affect people in other ways. For me, actually, I'll be honest, it's not difficult for me personally, because I just do shopping online. I'm careful about where I go. I'm careful about who I see. I'm careful about how close I am to people. I'm washing my hands regularly. I wore a mask today when I had to, but I've not really been anywhere other than that I've needed to. So I'm just doing kind of those things, really. So that's quite straightforward. From a business perspective, it's been really tough. But yeah, so, you know, we're obviously having slightly different experiences of the same thing. Cool, so different people. Keely's got a prison life hoodie result. Okay, what do you guys want me to crack on with this evening? Any preferences? I did say at the beginning, I wasn't seeing the comments coming through, that I was going to stay outside, but I thought I'd stay inside, because I thought I might get a bit closer to the line this evening. And yeah, so I thought I'd stay inside so I don't burden my neighbours with it. But yeah, unplanned, unprepared, unscripted. You tell me what you want to hear and I'll do it. It's fine. I'm not dancing now, so yeah, no. We'll sit here in silence. Yeah, we haven't got a prison merch shop running at the moment. The trouble is we're not really set up for the distribution arm of it. That's the challenge. It's not. I need to have a look at doing that, and the trouble is it's not really worth us going to do a almost an Amazon store side of things, because I don't think we'll sell enough. And to be honest, there is also a time aspect. We're so busy just running the day-to-day show. That's really keeping us sort of quite flat out across both sites and across the centralised teams. And there's a number of other things obviously happening as well. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why we haven't got that up yet. I can't actually see who's watching, so I'm seeing who's here by the comments. So apologies if I haven't said hello. Good evening, Adam. Give us some prison ghost stories. I don't know if you know what, we talk about ghost stories a lot, and I love talking prisons. I really do. I could talk about it a lot. I could talk about the ghosts a lot, but we do that quite a lot on here. So maybe tonight's time to have a little break from. I don't know. Evening, Kirsty. Kirsty and Kathy having a little convo. Booked a ghost hunt in Shepton, September. What's the normal routine? Couldn't tell you. No idea. Couldn't tell you what it's like in Shrewsbury either. I know that you arrive. I know they'll get you checked in. I know they'll do your health and safety, and I know they take you on a tour for an hour and a half. And I know they're brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Anybody that's been on our ghost tours will tell you. Hopefully the same. There's plenty of people on here. I know that Kirsty was on it the other week. I don't know if Rachel's here. She's been on them. Teresa's been on them, I think. Kathy's been on them. So anyway, there's lots of people. Adam's been on them, I think. So, but yeah, they're great. You'll love it. But I couldn't tell you what the routine is, I'm afraid, because I've not done it for years, a couple of years. And when I did do it, it was slightly different. I'm not doing any dad dancing. Oh yeah, there you go. They're saying they tell you loads. Have you got anything new planned at Shrewsbury Prison? Well, actually we have. We are going to be putting on a night behind. Well, we're not. Lauren is going to be putting on a night behind bars at Shrewsbury. A night behind bars. Yeah, a night behind bars at Shrewsbury Prison on the 19th of September, I believe it is. Let me just double check that date. Just double check. Yes, 19th of September. Lauren's putting on a night behind bars. There'll be a very limited amount of tickets. We will be releasing next week, probably Tuesday, the announcement to say that we're having a night behind bars. So if anyone asks, I didn't say it. It wasn't me. I didn't pre-announce it. So we'll be announcing next week, probably on Tuesday, that we're going to be launching a night behind bars. It'll be one event this year only at Shrewsbury Prison. I think there's only 40 tickets because we've already there's already some that are pre-sold to an organisation we're doing some charity work with and stuff like that. So there'll be 40 tickets. They'll be going live maybe a week later, so we'll give you plenty of notice. We'll put them live, and it'll be basically sort of a first come first serve. Really, I believe is the way they're planning on doing it. And on the 19th of September, I believe that Lauren will be there for part of the evening. Stacey's going to be there for part of the evening, and I'm going to be there for part of the evening. So that's really cool. I'm really excited about that. Maurice, I never thought I could take more alcohol in through my hands than my mouth. Do you know what, Nikki? Nikki's just asked whether we're going to do another lockdown live with Lauren and Stacey. We'll probably do one on the night behind bars, and we'll probably do two on that night because we can do an early evening one. And what we will probably do potentially, certainly Lauren and I will be able to do one whilst the tours are going on, which happens between 10 and 12. So when everyone goes off on their tours, Laura and I will definitely do a live. Stacey may well be running one of the tours, so she won't be able to. And I think then we'll probably do one maybe at 1 in the morning or something like that with a couple of people that are around. That might just be me because I think Laura might have to work the next day and Stacey's working the Saturday. But we'll sort that out. So we will definitely do one on the 19th. We might do one before then. We'd love to, but we're just busy. Like I say, it's just we've got a huge amount on. The reason we were able to do them during lockdown more regularly was because we weren't open. So normally Lauren's 40 hours in the jail doing a manager role. Stacey's got her role. I'm not sure how many hours she does, but she does loads. I'm normally 85 hours plus. So we didn't have those hours, so therefore we were able to do the lives. But yeah, it is harder. And don't forget, Lauren and Stacey have got 3 kids to look after as well. But we will do more of them. Funny enough, I did have a conversation with a lady called Jane Harris about her potentially coming onto one of our lockdowns as a guest. but I don't know if that will transpire or not. She actually went to Shepton the other day and did something there during the day. So it was something that we weren't really involved in. But yeah, so we may do, and I'd love to get some other, I guess, kind of guest presenters in for some of those. But paranormal people, I guess people like Carl or Yvette would be a fantastic one. I think as COVID starts to ease again, we'll start to do that. We might do more of those after the summer holidays because our time eases a little bit because we're not quite as busy in the same way. So I might do some of those. Keely did the ghost tour last night. James fainted. He fainted. Wow. Yeah, we felt sorry for Stacey as well. Keely having to put up with you. She did mention it. I haven't seen her actually today. Teresa thinks we'll sell enough merch on Amazon. Well, maybe we'll have a look at that. Simon's here, but he was late. I was late last week, so we probably arrived at the same time. What do you want to talk about ongoing on the 5th of August? So I'm just reading through. Chris, I've already said hello. That was a little while ago. I want to do a ghost tour. So I'm just reading the comments. Cool. Well, if you guys are coming on tours at any point, do drop us messages and let us know you're coming. I think where have you gone? I do get a few of you. Keely dropped me a message the other day to say that her and James were going on the tour, so I was able to prep Stacey for it. Maurice, you're not here to promote other prisons, Maurice. No one cares about Dorchester and the Verne. No one cares about other prisons, Maurice. They care about Shepton and Shrewsbury. That's it. There's no other jail in the world but those two. That's it. Let's be honest. Shepton is the oldest working jail when it closed. So it's fascinating. It built in 1610 through 1625. It's got 75-foot high walls. It's a fascinating place. Brilliant jail. Huge amounts of history. Shepton, Shrewsbury is in a fantastic condition. There's so much going on there. It's a flagship site. It's really easy tourism links. It is recognised as the number 6 dark tourism destination in the world. Let me just repeat that very quickly. Number 6 dark tourism destination in the fucking world, the whole world. We're number 6, and that's ranking us with places like Auschwitz. It's ranked as places like Robben Island, it's Chernobyl, Alcatraz. There's one other, and then there's us. So, we're amazing. So, yeah, nobody cares about the others, Maurice, except for Bodmin. Bodmin's amazing. Bodmin Jail, if you haven't been to Bodmin, totally get down to Bodmin if you ever get a chance. They're closed at the moment. They should be opening again shortly. I think they've just had a £1 million refurb with another 7 million being spent on the back of it. Brilliant place. I love Bodmin. I think they do an amazing job. Definitely check that one out. But yeah, no, I'm just joking, Maurice. All prisons, all dark tourism is fantastic. I want to go and get myself a castle. That's my next challenge. Find myself a castle. Well, buy a prison, then get a castle. Just reading through these. The 19th. Night of the 19th into the 20th, that's my 12th wedding anniversary. Laurie, what better way to spend a wedding anniversary than coming to prison and spending it overnight on a set of bunk beds? I want to know who's going to get top bunk out of you and your partner, or your husband. I'm assuming it's a husband. It could well be a wife, but either. What will the evening entail, Joel? You'll find out. Adam will release all that next week. Wow, I'm missing loads of comments. The puppies are so cute. Well, I've got love for Jane here. I'll be honest, I'd never actually heard of her until it came up to into Shepton the other day. But yeah, I hadn't actually heard of her. But yeah, it was okay. It wasn't bad. It's not the way we would have done it had we. We weren't aware it was going on as a central team, as a marketing team. Our marketing team weren't aware of it. Had they been, we'd have done it very differently. You've seen our lives. You see the way we go about it. We would have, yeah. I think we would have certainly made it more historically accurate because there's a lot of inaccuracies in that. It was fine, I think, from a paranormal perspective, but a lot of stuff that was getting said just wasn't correct, and that kind of grinds us a little bit because we obviously spent a lot of time. And Maurice will appreciate this as well, as I know a lot of you guys. We spend a lot of time researching and making sure we get the correct information, the correct terminology, and then we really are very careful about the way that we relay that. We spend a lot of time being making sure that we put forward the information in a considerate, a careful manner that's respectful, because obviously you're dealing with people's lives effectively, you're dealing with a lot of history there. So we make sure we do that because it's still very modern. It's not like speaking about something centuries and centuries ago that's been closed for centuries and centuries. It's still recent enough that we're talking about executions in the 60s and stuff. So we're very careful about that. Maurice, you are very much on my list. Don't you worry, my friend. The second an opportunity opens up at Shepton, I'm not even going to advertise. I am just going to message you. So yeah, I promise that is. You can take that as a given. There's 25 people here watching right now. You've got it on a recording. As soon as an opportunity arises at Shepton, we are giving you a call, I promise. Okay, this is my first run, by the way. But yeah, Jane was good. It was interesting seeing some of the bits that she was doing with the app on her phone. I'm not sure how much I trust that kind of stuff myself because I've not really used it. I like to be able to see it with my eyes and feel it and see it and have it there. But anyway, hopefully she'll come down to Shepton, to Shrewsbury, and do something with us at Shrewsbury because people do really like her. I think she's very good. We just want to make sure that we get it right, and we make sure, because obviously it's our prisons and our brand, we want to make sure we get that spot on. Let's have a quick look. You have a good relationship with the staff. We don't call them staff. I'm going to just flag that very quickly. What do you think the key is to building an effective relationship with employees? There's a few things, Jill. I think that's a really good question, so I will pick up on that. We don't refer to them as staff. I don't refer to them as staff because, and this might just be a me thing, and I've got lots of little Joelisms. Joelisms, that's a great word. Joelisms. I'm going to coin that. Hashtag Joelism. I don't like the word staff because to me it almost feels like an us and them, like an employer, like a boss, and like the people down there. So we don't call them staff. So we've always used the terminology employees, and that's because I've not been quite able to make the step to call them family, which is a shame because I think that's exactly what I want to be. Refer to everybody as a team, and it is a team effort. We couldn't do what we do if it wasn't for all of our people connected in together. There's nobody that doesn't play a part or a role in the organisation. There's nobody that just kind of shies away in the background and kind of just titters away and kind of gets that bit done and doesn't really have an impact on the business. It doesn't happen in our organisation. Everybody has an impact. I think that one of the things about building effective relationships, we're very open and honest with our teams. They're given a huge amount of opportunity and a lot of potential to grow. So if you want to take over our organisation and have my job as CEO, that's absolutely fine. You can aspire and grow and get to that point. Nobody is ever going to put you in a box and say no. That doesn't happen in my organisation. So therefore there's a huge amount of opportunity, and people can make those opportunities what they are. Some people struggle with that, and some people do end up leaving because they find that just too difficult. They're just too open almost, and others thrive in it. Lauren is a shining example of how that's worked over time, and she's amazing in terms of what she does. So we do it like that, and I like to think that we ask results. We do need results, and we do ask for results, but it's Lauren and Gary were actually speaking to somebody the other day that I had and that was chatting to, and one of the things they said to her was everybody just kind of mucks in. Yes, we have our own roles, we have our own responsibilities, but if something needs to be done, someone just does it. And that's kind of the ethos that we have, that we're all in it together. Success or failure, we're in it together. When COVID hit, one of the very early meetings we had about it, it was, guys, we're either going to survive this together or we're going to go down together. And one of the team turned around and said, do you know what, now is a time to grab a bucket and start fucking bailing. And they were like, and anybody that does not pick up a bucket does not belong in this organisation. That wasn't me saying that was one of the teams saying that. And I think that was a really good example of how people come together. So that's one of the things. I think the other thing is you lead. We don't have managers, particularly again in our organisation. We have leaders, and that's what we develop is leaders. And there's a big difference between a manager and a leader. A manager will say, hey, you go and do this. And with a leader, people just do it. They naturally, that needs to be done, and they go and do it because they're led by an example. Last weekend, Lauren had her hands down toilets. I was at the prison and I was about to walk out the door, and I had a call on the radio from Lauren saying, Joel, can you just nip back down 2 seconds? Came back down to tick up, and she was like, toilets are blocked, can you just wait here a sec? I'm going to go sort it. And that was it. And there she was, site manager, sorting out toilets. Rather heard of me. I've done my years of doing this, so yeah, I don't have to do that too much anymore. So that's where I think sort of is the effectiveness. And do you know what? And it works. And one of the things actually that 3 of them said to me today when I was leaving, because I said that I was off, I left at 1:30 today. I was like, I'm working from home tomorrow, and they all smiled and laughed. And I said, hey, look, it's 30 degrees. I've got a swimming pool. I'm working from home. That's going to happen. And they all turned around and said, don't work. Just have a day off. Enjoy your pool. Just do that. Rather than like, oh, bloody boss is going on, you sit in the swimming pool, we're here working. It wasn't like that. I was like, Joe, take a day off. I've got work to do in the morning, but then, yeah, absolutely, I'll be taking the afternoon off, unless they need me, in which case they can call me. So it's that kind of process, really. Adam, you bought your girlfriend on your first date post lockdown on a ghost tour. That's epic. Love it. So I flick through here. Yeah, Bodmin's great. Sorry, back to it. So I'm just reading through the comments. Shrewsbury Castle. Oh, somebody's cutting onto my plan. Yeah, Shrewsbury Castle's fantastic. It's got a big museum in it at the moment, so we'll see what happens with that over time. But if anyone sees a castle for grabs, give me a shout. I'm your man. I love that, Laurie. It's a husband. He will get on top, though. It might not be by the end of the night behind bars. Who knows? Anything can happen behind those bars. And what happens behind bars stays behind bars, as they say. He'll get top bunk. I'm scared of heights. Plus, if anything happens ghost-wise, I can be quicker out the door. Brilliant. Yeah, under 16s can do the ghost tour. We go down as low as 8. Yeah, most haunted has to be. Oh, Stacey's here. Stacey, Constantine, Fox Terry. Evening, Stace. Didn't know you were on. Let's have a quick look. James B. Paranormal, 6817. Sorry, guys. I know this bit's really boring for you, so I'm just trying to plough through the comments. Oh yeah, typical. Stacey jumps on and all the comments are, hi Stace, how are you? Laura and I had a conversation with this earlier with one of our somebody we used to work with us, a girl called Sophie who was in our events team. Started at the same time as Laura. They've been friends for years. She's good friends with Stacey as well, good friends with me. And Lauren and Sophie and I were just chewing the fat, and Sophie was laughing about the fact that Stacey is the most popular out of the 3 of us. Stacey is the go-to. Everyone wants to chat to Stacey. Everyone wants to book on tours with Stacey. Everyone wants to do everything with Stacey. So, fuck you, Stacey. So yeah, that was certainly coming up earlier. I told you I'd be a bit more risque tonight. Sorry about Jay. Sorry about. Got a lot of love for Jane. It's weird. I didn't even know who she was. And it was a good, like I said, it was a good live, but we do need to be doing it in, we need to do it Shrewsbury Prison way, and we've got a way that works really, really well. And also we've got to manage our brand. We wouldn't want somebody coming to do something that impacts or has a negative effect on what we do, and that's why we're very key on making sure the right information is portrayed in the right way. I think that's something you need to be very, very careful about and very consistent about as well. Okay, everyone's just having conversations with Stacey here, so we'll just flick through some of these. Glenn's arrived. Keeley, I've met Stacey. Just got me. You're like, hey, you've met Stacey, Keeley. The rest doesn't matter. I'll be honest with you. Stacey does rock. I'll give you that. She does rock. Do you want me to tell you some stories about Stacey when I first met her? Would you like to hear some of those? I might have to get myself another drink first. But yeah, do you guys want to hear some stories about Stacey when I first met her? She's there going, oh God, no, don't. Oh God, no, don't. I met Stacey and Lauren shopping. Teresa, that's looking a little bit dodgy. I'm going to have to go get myself another rum in a sec. I don't like leaving it. Oh my God, yes, dish it out. Okay, do you know what? That's enough people to say, yeah, right, I'm going to get a drink. I'm going to be 2 seconds, and I'm going to come and tell some stories about Stacey. So in the meantime, also just grab a drink. There you go, I'll leave you with this. You can read about the execution room in Shepton Mallet Prison. Okay, let's try and get that up. Close enough. Oh, there you go. Have a quick read of the execution room. Okay, I'm back. Okay. I know you can't see it. I was just a joke. It's a bit too far away. Can't stand her with her posh Volvo accent. Can you understand her with her posh Volvo accent? I don't know what you're talking about, Keely. If you're saying Stacey's got a posh accent, then yeah. Okay, so Stacey, right. I met Stacey because I spoke last week about Chrissy leaving, and I had a conversation again with Lauren and Stacey about this. I think Friday it might be, Friday, Saturday, it doesn't matter. And one of the things that we figured out was there's only 5 of us now in the entire organisation that know what it means when we say, remember when we just did tours? Because that's all we did for the first nearly year was just tours. And me and Keith and Graham, Chrissy, Lauren and Stacey were the 6 that were left that were there when we just did tours. Obviously with Chrissy going, there's now a small cohort now, one-handed cohort of people that understand what it means to just do tours and how different it was, how totally different it was. But Stacey I first met as a zombie. So 2015, October 2015, we did something called Lockdown, which was a zombie chase event around the jail. And Stacey came along to do this. So she came and auditioned. Well, it wasn't really, we didn't really audition people. They came and they sort of gave it a chance. We did something called Zombie School and put them through that. And I don't think she'll mind me saying this, but she was bigger then than she is now. She's lost a fair bit of weight over the last, I guess, 5 years. But yeah, and she looked an awful lot younger. I mean, I think she was 33, 34 then. She's 39-ish now. So no, yeah, and I can remember her being a zombie, and I've got some footage of it somewhere. I'll dig it out and share it at some point. And she was just, there was a few people, there was about 60 odd people that came to this. It was busy, there was a lot of people. And there was maybe 4 or 5 people that stood out that you were like, wow, they are really good. They're like a natural in this. And Stacey was one of those, and she just went from strength to strength to strength to strength to strength. And the first event, I think she ended up having she was like one of the scare captains, so she ended up having an area with a team of zombies with her, and she kind of led that area. She is incredibly, she's swearing at me, she's incredibly strong-willed. She is, she's very determined, very dedicated. She's definitely had clashes with other employees at different points, actually not through her doing, through theirs, because we've had employees before who were like event coordinators, so basically they actually sat above where Stacey was, and they used to get really threatened by her because she was so good at what she did. They saw that as a threat, which is a crazy way to look at it, especially in our organisation, because that's just not the way to do. We work together. But Stacey didn't see it like that. She just saw the different opportunities that she could take, and that were there. And that's why those people aren't with us anymore, and she is. So I don't want to be too nice about her. I need to say something bad. I'll come up with something in a sec, I'm sure. But she's worked incredibly hard. She's been with us nearly 5 years, like nearly since the beginning. So yeah, a long time. She's been through the highs and the lows. She's had some periods where she's been absolutely crap. So there were some times I can remember where she didn't like the way we were doing things. This was something I was going to talk about, actually, not about Stacey, about some other people, but didn't like the way we were doing certain things, or potentially the way that things were happening. Toys would go out the pram a little bit. I've had that conversation a couple of times, not just with her, with other people. But one of the things is she's come back so much stronger, and now does so well. Runs Prison Break, runs escape rooms, runs activity areas in Shrewsbury. Writes events, coordinates events, runs the ghost tours, helped create and write the ghost tours, runs the ghost tours. She does guided tours, educational tours, everything. Stacey literally is one of the very few people in our organisation that does absolutely everything. CSAs, works in the restaurant. In fact, Stacey, you might actually be the only person that does everything, because I don't do ghost tours, and I don't do escape rooms, and I wouldn't even know where to start with a ghost tour. So yeah, she's brilliant. I'm not going to big her up anymore. She's brilliant. However, there was a time where we did an event. It was called Twisted Fairy Tales. And Stacey's like, oh my God, I can't believe he's about to tell this story. So we did Twisted Fairy Tales. Brilliant event, written by Vicky, who used to be one of our event coordinators. She was great, had really good concept, twisted, messed up mind in some of the things that she created. She helped write Lockdown with me in the first version. And we've done a few other events together. She built our very first scare maze and stuff like that, with helps from the team, people like Stacey and Graham and myself and Lauren and so on and so forth. But and she wrote Twisted Fairy Tales, which is basically all your favourite fairy tale characters spun on their head. So Tinkerbell was running around smashing a frying pan because she was looking for Peter Pan. And if anybody else spoke to Peter, she'd get insanely jealous. Red Riding Hood was there, but the wolf was her pimp. And the Red Riding Hood had a big pole, and she was giving people pole dances. The Pied Piper was there, and he had, what did the Pied Piper do? I think he had children in like a cage. There was the Ugly Sisters, which was me and Sophie, and it was a shot bar, and halfway through the event you came and see the Ugly Sisters, but we were beautiful sisters, and we gave you shots, and you had to do shots in the bar to be able to leave. We had the Mad Hatter's Tea Party, and people were snorting cocaine, not real cocaine, but they were real shots, but not real cocaine. I'm trying to think what else we had. We had loads of different stuff. It was just completely fucked up. We had Dorothy was running around with Toto. We had Lauren. Lauren was played with Jack, her brother. They played oh God, what was it? Did they play Jack and Jill? Was it Jack and Jill they played? Stacey will remind me in a sec. I can't remember the characters they played. But they were in a lift in Lederhausen's, and it was so tight. Lauren was in such a tight costume for the 3 nights. She hated the costume, loved the part, hated the costume. And then you left and you went to Snow White scene. So Snow White basically was in like a Jerry Springer set because Snow White was pregnant and you didn't know which of the 7 dwarfs it was. So Snow White was basically a slag. And she'd been sleeping with all the dwarfs, and it was a Jerry Springer kind of show, and that was the finale, and then you went into the party at the end. It was a great event. And Stacey was understudying Snow White, and basically we got to the point of the show. We just opened the doors. So we opened the doors. We had the first customers coming through, and I had a call on my radio to go, Stacey won't do it. And I was like, what do you mean Stacey won't do it? I was like, Stacey's broken down. She's having a panic attack. I'm like, what do you mean she's having a panic attack? I was grabbing my book, and basically she was just having a proper moment of stage fright of how she was going to do this. She was like, I can't remember my lines. I can't remember what I'm doing, and just panic set in. Proper sheer fear of panic. Customers were coming through the event. We had maybe 15 minutes before the first customers reached her scene. I was in scene and I could hear it in the radio. I was like, shit, I have to get out of my scene, so I had to excuse myself. I had Heelys on, for Christ's sake, so I was trying to run around the jail to get to this scene. Lauren was trying to calm her down. And I think I got there and people were like kind of fanning her and just like, it'll be fine, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. And in the end, I can't even remember who it was. Someone came up with this genius idea, which was we had a couple of scripts. And we're like, do you know what? Let's give Stacey the script and make it look as if she's got questions in a blind date scenario. And that's what we did, like fanning up this clipboard, like, right, there's your script, sit down, just read off the bloody thing. And yeah, it was just crazy. And yeah, I think that's one of the only times I've seen it kind of melt down. And it was proper madness because we had loads of people coming through. I know 200 odd people coming through that night. In groups of like 8 or something, so it's just constant, one after the other, one after the other. And once you're in show with scene after scene after scene, because the scenes all stay where they are, it's like an immersive walk-through theatre. The scenes stay put, and the groups of 8 walk through the scenes, and the scenes are timed neatly. So you walk in, and then you go out, and then the next one comes in. It's perfectly done like that. So yeah, and yeah, and that was yeah, that was it. So we're always really careful now to make sure Stacey knows her lines, or we give her a role but that doesn't have lines that she can improv. And it is where Stacey and Lauren met. Yes, Stacey and Lauren met at the jail. I mean, most of our team have met at the prison, in fairness, and have become friends through the prison. Stacey and Lauren, yes, met at the jail, just like all of us did. And Lauren was she moved to Gloucester, I think, by that point. I don't think they'll be able to say when they got together. But it is fair to say that I am the reason that Lauren and Stacey found each other. So, yeah, I think they owe me for that. Lauren slapped. Oh God, she did. Jesus, I forgot about that. She did hit you, didn't she? But yeah, so that's Stacey. And next week we'll dissect Lauren. But they are, she is brilliant. And the one thing I can say about every single member of our team, every single person that works for us in the prison family and the Campbell Group family, as we call it, the bigger, wider cohort is in the Campbell Group. Every single person I would happily support to work for somebody else. If they left, I would absolutely be quite happy to pick up the phone to a CEO or to HR, to whoever it is doing employment, saying this person's amazing. Whether it's Flick or Georgie down in Shepton, whether it's Stacey up in Shrewsbury, whether it's Paige in the Central Team, whoever it is, it doesn't matter. I think we've got about 42 employees on the books, and then all of our actors, and every single one of them is fantastic. So yeah, and they're great, and they are the ones that make it work as it does now. Other than Chrissy, she's leaving us, she can fuck off. So, but yeah, no, it's good. Right. I should so be the best man. No, I think I should officiate the wedding. Never mind the best man. I reckon I should do the wedding. I should get ordained for the day and do the wedding at the prison. How cool would that be? In fact, I think we should start a petition right now. Joel for the priest. and wedding at the yeah, I do. Yeah, oh God, I'm going to tell this story now. Anyway, Joel is the priest for Stacey and Lauren's wedding, and they should get married in England. Do you know what? I'm going to save the Gloucester lock story, Stace, for your wedding. Assuming I get an invite. Hansel and Gretel, that was it. Oh, sorry. I love the way I jump around in this. There's a brilliant story of when Lauren and Stacey, I think it was really, really early days. It might even mean like, getting towards kind of their first sort of date type of stuff. And I was going down to Gloucester where Lauren was working to spend a few days down there, and Stacey came with me. She came down with me to spend a few days down there as well, see what Gloucester was like. And Lauren didn't know she was coming, and the scene I will save for when they get married, because it was a moment of I'll save it for them. But yeah, Lauren and Jack were playing Hansel and Gretel, and they'd killed the witch. They were in a lift and they killed the witch, and they were there just picking, like, with bones, picking their teeth and stuff like that, and they were checking people to see how fat they were and whether they were ready to be eaten and cooked, and they were basically cannibal kids. So yeah, it was a lot. Graham is an absolute legend. All of our team are legends. Do you know what I mean? They're all brilliant. We do a thing every Wednesday. We do Wow Wednesdays, which is Worker of the Week, and we put on whoever the Worker of the Week is that week. And then every month we have an Employee of the Month. It's kind of it's coming back now because obviously COVID stopped it. An Employee of the Month, they get I think it's a £30 Amazon voucher. It's nothing huge. It's more of a recognition. Say, hey, you've done a brilliant job this month, and anyone can win it. Basically, it's all just down to kind of, well, I guess what they're doing that month. But everyone works so hard. So we have an internal newsletter called Take a Prison Break, which is an internal thing, just about things that are going on and stuff like that. So, Graham and Keith as bridesmaids, that would be amazing. That would be epic. Right. Graham and Keith would make brilliant bridesmaids. Okay. Oh God, do you know what? I've run out of time pretty much. I was proper prepared to talk about. I was having a little whinge, not a whinge, but I was saying last week about there was some stuff going on in the business, and there were some external factors, and I was getting really pretty cheesed off. I'll be honest with you. I was pissed. I was really annoyed, because I had a few people externally, people that don't work for us, people that don't know the ins and outs of our business, have never run a company, have certainly never run a company like ours, and have certainly never started one like the way that I have. And they were telling me what I was doing wrong, how to correct it, and all these kind of things. And I got to a point where I was really angry, and I was actually Paige again, and she's another really, really sharp person. She's young. She's in a 24, I want to say. I'm going to get in trouble now if I get this wrong. I think she's 24, but she's incredibly sharp, as a lot of our employees are. And she turned around and said, Joel, everyone knows how to run your company better than you. And I'm going to leave it at that, because I think that's a really nice lead-in for next week for episode 11, is that everyone knows how to run your company better than you. And it's so true, because I think that about other people in other companies sometimes. So we'll pick that up next week. So it's a little bit more planned for next week. But yeah, other than that, thank you very much. It's been very enjoyable. I'm going to finish my rum. I'm going to say goodnight to my kids. And I think I'm going to take the rest of the evening off. And that's going to be it. So anyway, guys, thank you very much. It's been a wonderful chat about Stacey, and send her some love, because I do give her a lot of shit work. And I will obviously do some posts tomorrow. There will be swimming pool posts. So yeah, you'll see that in my story. Cool. Other than that, I will speak to you guys next week. Thank you very much. And big love for the support as always. So, laters. Why does it never work when I press the button first time? There we go. All right.